Hi there, I'm Mindie Kniss, and you are watching Kniss Connection. This week what I wanted to talk about was something that's come up a lot in my coaching practice this week. It's always very interesting to me to see when there's certain commonalities in what clients bring in for the week, whether it's a certain topic that they're talking about or a certain issue or situation that's going on in their life. It very often is the case that it's exactly the same thing from client to client, and what happens is I tend to pay really close attention, not only because I'm really interested in synchronicity, but I always think, okay, what is the lesson for me in this? What do I need to learn from this, as well as what do they need to learn from experiencing this? So what happened this week was everybody was talking about mindfulness, or bringing up a topic where I was talking to them about mindfulness. So I thought I would spend just a couple minutes talking to you about mindfulness as well. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is essentially being present, fully awake and aware in the current moment. It's being conscious of our surroundings, it's being conscious of our body and our thoughts, and just being present and centered and grounded. So people say, okay, well that sounds great, but how do I do that? A really easy way to go about it is to ask yourself, what am I sensing right now? And you can go through the 5 senses and just kind of make a checklist, what's going on with each of my 5 senses. An example that I like to use is when you're washing dishes. So if you start with your sight, ask yourself, okay, what do I see? And it's not just the kitchen and the sink and the dishes and the water and the soap. It's what are the details? What are the designs on the dishes? What's the design of, the kitchen backsplash? Anything that's, in your vision. Notice and pay attention to those details. Then what am I smelling? What the obvious answer might be, well, I'm smelling the dish soap, but it could also be something that you're cooking for dinner, or a scent of a candle nearby. It could be anything, but what am I smelling? What am I tasting? Maybe you're chewing gum. Maybe you taste an aftertaste of something that you ate recently. Just paying attention, to those, whatever's going on. Those taste buds are activated somehow, and often we don't pay attention unless we are thinking about it, consciously saying, okay, I'm tasting this new food or this wine or this coffee or whatever it is. What does it taste like? But you can taste, something, there's a taste all the time. So just paying attention to that. And then what is your touch? What's the sense that you're feeling at the moment? Maybe it's the curve of a bowl, or the way that the soap glides around a glass, or the texture of a sponge, or the warmth of the water. Notice those things like texture and temperature, and what does it feel like? And then pay attention to what you're hearing. A lot of times people say, well, I don't hear anything. Well, that's usually not the case, even when there's no obvious blatant sound like music playing or a television in the background. Maybe it's the whir of a fan, or a heater, or a plane flying overhead, or if you were in my house, it would be the little cats running around and play fighting. It could be a conversation that's happening in another room, or just simply the slosh of the water, and the dishes clanking in the sink. It could be anything, but it's really just about becoming present, becoming aware, and really conscious of all the stuff that's going on in our context. It's about kind of widening our peripheral senses and saying, what's happening around me, and what am I experiencing right now? So next time you're washing your dishes, or maybe driving to work, or doing any of the common tasks that we do, think about that. Think, how can I bring more mindfulness into my task right now? Instead of going on autopilot, it becomes a very sense-oriented, sensory experience. And what happens with that is that really the whole thing can become very vibrant. You'll start to notice details that you hadn't noticed before. You'll start to pick out things that maybe you weren't that didn't catch your attention previously. There's a sense of vibrancy that comes with paying attention to those details. So it's pretty cool when that happens. I hope that you find this helpful. This has been Kniss Connection, and until next week, live your dream, rock your life. Have a great week.